Close your eyes to the world you see and open your eyes to the world you create. Tonight, as you lie in bed, you are standing at the gateway of transformation. You are not just resting your body. You are reprogramming your destiny. Because what you accept as true in your imagination becomes what you experience in your reality. Wealth is not outside of you. It never was. Money, luxury, success, they are not things you pursue. They are things you attract by the person you believe you are. Yet, before sleep, you assume the feeling of being wealthy. If you feel the joy of financial freedom, the ease of abundance, the satisfaction of your desires already fulfilled, you have planted the seed. And the seed must grow. You do not need to beg the world for riches. You are not here to chase. You are here to become. The world bends to the image you hold of yourself. So tonight, stop wishing for change and assume it has already happened. See yourself living in the home you desire. Feel the weight of wealth in your wallet, the freedom of time, the joy of being a blessing to others. Let your imagination create it in vivid detail. Smell the leather seats. Hear the keys jingle. Taste the food at your favorite restaurant. Laugh from the overflow of it all. Do not worry about how. The how is not yours to know. Your role is belief. Your role is assumption. Your role is embodiment. The bridge of incidents will appear as needed, but you must walk the world in the knowing that you already have what you once sought. Each night you enter the sacred silence, and in that silence, speak boldly. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Not someday, now. Feel it so deeply that you smile in your sleep. Feel it until it becomes natural. Repetition makes it law. What you impress upon your subconscious tonight becomes what you wake up to tomorrow. So tonight, don't drift into sleep passively. Step into it consciously, with clarity, with purpose, with the awareness that you are the master of your inner world and that your outer world must follow. You are wealth. You are success. You are more than worthy. And as you sleep, your new world begins. The truth is simple, yet it escapes many. Your world is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Everything you see, every experience you live through, is a mirror of your internal state of consciousness. The outer world is not a cause, it is an effect. It is not the initiator of your circumstances, but the reflection of what you persistently believe, assume, and feel within yourself. Consciousness is the only reality. All change, all manifestation, all transformation begins within. Most people live backwards. They react to the world around them, assuming it has power over their feelings, over their destiny. They believe that circumstances dictate their lives, that they are subject to forces outside their control. But this is illusion. The moment you understand that your inner world is the source and the outer world is the projection, you step into your true power. You are not here to fight the shadow. You are here to change the light within. Just as a mirror only reflects what stands before it, so too does your reality reflect what you hold deeply and repeatedly in mind. If you persist in believing you are unworthy, you will meet people and situations that confirm that unworthiness. If you assume you are constantly struggling, you will see evidence of that struggle around you. But if you dare to assume wealth, peace, and power, the world must mirror that belief. This is not about pretending or wishing, it is about embodying. When you change your consciousness, your deep-seated assumptions, the feelings you habitually live in, you change your life. You are not separate from the reality you experience. You are creating it every moment through the state you occupy. Everything begins in imagination. That which you see in the world first passed through the unseen chambers of thought and feeling. Someone imagined the home you live in. Someone imagined the clothes you wear. Everything that surrounds you was first a conception in the mind, then made visible. So too with your experiences, your relationships, your finances, your health. They are all the outpicturing of your inner convictions. To live wisely, you must become aware of the thoughts and feelings you dwell in most. What do you believe about money, about success, about love, about yourself? These beliefs are not hidden. They are revealed daily through the life you are living. If you do not like what you see, the answer is not to blame the mirror, but to look inward and change the image you are projecting. When you understand that consciousness is the only reality, you stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop trying to manipulate the world outside. Instead, you go within. You enter the silence. You imagine the life you desire with intensity and feeling. You assume it is already yours. And then you rest in the knowing that it must come, not by force, not by willpower, but by spiritual law. Do not ask whether it is working. Do not look for signs. You do not plant a seed and dig it up every day. You trust that the invisible work is already done. You maintain the assumption. You live from the end. And the world reshapes itself around your new identity. Your job is not to fix the world. Your job is to see rightly, to believe rightly, to assume rightly. The world is a mirror. You are the source. And when you change the inner film, the outer projection cannot remain the same. This is the secret. This is the power. You are not a victim of life. You are the author of it. Rewrite your assumptions, and you will rewrite your future. Wealth is not something you pursue, it is something you embody. It is not found in the frantic chase, the endless hustle, or the tireless effort to get more. True wealth begins as a state of being, a quiet and confident awareness that you are already abundant. It is not about what you possess materially, but what you assume to be true about yourself. When you understand this, you stop running toward money and begin attracting it through who you are. To live in abundance, you must first become abundant in thought and feeling. You must inhabit the version of yourself who already has, already owns, already experiences the richness of life. This is not fantasy. It is a conscious decision to dwell in the mindset of wealth, regardless of what your outer world currently shows. You are not faking it. You are creating it. And creation always begins in consciousness. When you assume the identity of a wealthy person, your actions begin to align effortlessly with that identity. You speak differently. You think from solutions instead of problems. You carry yourself with a calm confidence that says, I have more than enough. And that assumption, when held faithfully, begins to form patterns in your reality. You begin to see opportunities where before there were only closed doors. You attract people, ideas, and resources that match your inner state. Chasing money implies that it is running from you. It implies separation. But when you shift into the energy of already having, you dissolve that distance. You are no longer chasing, you are magnetizing. You are no longer needy, you are certain. This is the great secret of manifestation. It is not what you do that brings wealth, but who you are being while you do it. You could take the same action from a state of lack and get nothing. But take that same action from a state of abundance, and doors open effortlessly. Because the energy you move with is everything. The world is not responding to your words or your hustle. It is responding to your identity. And your identity is formed by what you consistently feel and believe about yourself. Wealth is a frequency, and your emotions are the tuning fork. When you feel grateful, relaxed, and secure, even without visible riches, you are in harmony with wealth. And when you feel anxious, desperate, or inferior, you are in dissonance with it. That is why it is not about the money itself. It is about the feeling you think the money will bring. So why wait? Feel it now. Live in it now. Embody it now. Destiny is built in your hands in these moments. If you feel it now, live in it now. Embody it now. Live in it now. Walk through life as someone who already knows they are blessed. Speak as someone who already understands their worth. Carry yourself as someone who expects goodness, opportunity, and overflow. This is the essence of wealth. It is not out there, it is within you. And as you persist in this identity, the outer world cannot help but catch up. Circumstances shift, money flows, ideas click, but it is not magic. It is alignment. You have become the one who no longer needs to prove, fight, or beg. You have become the one who simply is abundant. When you truly get this, you stop chasing forever. You no longer ask, when will it come? Instead, you say, it's already mine. You realize that wealth was never the goal. Being wealthy, peacefully, confidently, and naturally was the goal all along. Imagination is the silent architect of your life. It is not a tool reserved for artists or dreamers. It is the divine faculty through which all things are made. What you imagine, especially in the stillness of the night, sets the stage for what you will live tomorrow. The world you see, the events you call coincidence, the opportunities you stumble upon, they all begin within, quietly formed in the realm of thought and feeling. Most people do not understand the power of their imagination. They treat it as fantasy, something childish or irrelevant. But what they fail to see is that everything they have ever experienced began first as an unseen image. Your relationships, your financial status, your health, your daily encounters. All of these are shaped by what you have imagined about life and about yourself. When the noise of the world fades and your body prepares for rest, your imagination becomes most powerful. The conscious mind quiets down and the subconscious opens wide. In this moment, whatever you vividly and emotionally imagine sinks deeply into your being. It becomes a seed planted in fertile soil. And that seed will grow, not because of effort or willpower, but because it was impressed upon the inner mind. The subconscious does not argue. It does not reason. It accepts whatever you present to it with feeling and repetition. So when you imagine yourself wealthy, loved, successful, or healed, with feeling as though it is already true, you are giving the subconscious clear instructions. You are writing the script for the scenes that will play out in your waking life. This is why night is sacred. The moments just before sleep are golden. Whatever you think about, whatever image you hold, whatever emotion you dwell in, these go with you into the deep and begin to shape the patterns of your reality. The mind in this relaxed and impressionable state becomes a vessel. You must choose carefully what you pour into it. If you drift into sleep worrying, doubting, or replaying painful experiences, you are feeding your future with more of the same. But if you deliberately imagine your desires already fulfilled, if you picture your ideal life in full color and feel the joy of it, you are preparing a new reality. The mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It only knows what you feel to be true. And once it accepts that truth, it moves all of creation to bring it into form. The world is not happening by chance, it is happening by design. Your design. Your inner world is the blueprint, and imagination is the architect. You do not need to know how your dream will manifest. That is not your concern. Your only task is to see it clearly, feel it deeply, and persist in that inner vision with confidence. You can imagine anything. There are no limits except the ones you believe. If you want wealth, see yourself already living in it. If you want love, feel yourself already embraced by it. If you want freedom, imagine the life where you already have it. Let your senses join the scene. Hear the sounds, smell the air, feel the emotions. Make it real, and your reality must follow. Do not underestimate what you do in the unseen. The outer world is slow to catch up, but it always does. That is the law. Imagination is not idle. It is not wishful thinking. It is the womb of creation. Each night, before sleep, you are given a brush and a blank canvas. Paint the life you want to live. Let your imagination be bold. Let it be clear. Let it be joyful. And then rest, knowing the masterpiece is already on its way. The feeling is the secret. Not the thought, not the words, not the effort, but the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is the bridge between imagination and reality, between the unseen and the seen. And the most potent time to access this power is just before sleep, when your conscious mind relaxes and your subconscious becomes open and responsive. In that sacred twilight, you are no longer bound by the limitations of logic or external circumstances. You are free to assume the state of your desire, and in doing so, you plant the seed of its fulfillment. Wealth does not begin with a bank account. It begins with a feeling. The feeling of security, of freedom, of comfort. The feeling that you have more than enough, that you are taken care of, supported, and in complete alignment with abundance. If you wish to be wealthy, then you must feel wealthy. Not wish for it, not long for it, but know it to be true from within. There is a distinct difference between hoping for wealth and assuming its presence. Hope says, maybe one day, but knowing says, it is already mine. That inner knowing, that quiet certainty is what reshapes your world. When you lie in bed and close your eyes, do not review the day's troubles, do not replay fears or doubts. Instead, create the scene of your fulfilled desire. Feel the joy of it, the ease, the naturalness of already living in the state you wish to express. Make it real in your mind and let your body respond. How would you breathe if you were already wealthy? How would your body feel as it melted into the mattress, no longer burdened by stress or lack? Would you smile? Would your heart beat calmly with trust and peace? This is how you enter the state of the wish fulfilled. You do not analyze it, you feel it, gently, consistently, deeply. You let it become your dwelling place. This feeling becomes your prayer. And unlike words, which are often hollow, feeling is honest. It speaks directly to the subconscious, and the subconscious listens. It listens and it obeys, because it only ever reflects what you assume to be true. If you persist in feeling poor, anxious, or undeserving, your world will echo that back to you. But if you shift inwardly, even just a little, and begin to feel as though you already are the version of yourself that you desire to be, the world cannot help but change in response. So each night, make this your sacred practice. Let go of the outer world and return to the inner. Enter that silent space where only you and your imagination exist. And there, dwell in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Imagine your home, your lifestyle, your relationships, your freedom. Let the joy of it rise within you. Not forced joy, but the kind that comes from knowing you are already there. You may not yet see the wealth with your eyes, but do not let that concern you. What you see is only a delayed reflection of what you felt yesterday. Focus now on what you wish to feel tomorrow. The world is always becoming what you feel yourself to be. So choose the feeling you desire. Make it your companion. Let it wrap around you like a warm blanket as you drift off to sleep. And when you wake, something will have shifted. You may not be able to name it, but you will feel it. A new calm, a new confidence, a sense that something unseen has been set in motion. And indeed it has. The seed has been planted, the blueprint drawn. Now all that remains is to remain faithful to the feeling. Do not return to doubt. Return to the knowing. The knowing that you already are what you have imagined. The knowing that feeling precedes form. The knowing that wealth is not coming. It is already yours, and your world is simply catching up. Assumption is the doorway through which the invisible becomes visible. To assume the end is to live in the feeling that your desire is already fulfilled. Not someday, not later, but now. You must learn to bypass the logical mind, which constantly asks how, and instead move into the stillness of knowing, where the end result already exists. This is the way creation works. Not through force or struggle, but through the assumption of already being. The world teaches you to plan, to strategize, to figure things out step by step. But manifestation does not require your mind to micromanage the process. In fact, the more you try to control the how, the more resistance you create. Your job is not to worry about the details. Your only task is to dwell in the end result, as if it were already true. You must feel it, believe it, surrender to it. If you want wealth, do not concern yourself with how the money will arrive. Do not count the sources or calculate the ways. All of that is outside your domain. Instead, go within and assume the end. What does it feel like to already have what you desire? To already be living in the lifestyle you once longed for? To already have the freedom, the peace, the opportunities, the choices that abundance brings? That is your work. To feel that state so deeply, so naturally, that the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. The mind will try to interfere. It will say, but I don't see it yet. Or, this doesn't make sense. Or, what if it doesn't happen? Let those thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. Do not dwell on them. Return again and again to the state of the end. Assume it. Own it. Know it. The outer world is slow to respond, but it must respond. It has no choice. Reality is always catching up with your assumption. When you assume the end, you shift your identity. You are no longer someone waiting or hoping. You become the person who already has it. This is the secret. You do not attract what you want. You attract who you are. So if you want wealth, become wealth in feeling. If you want love, become love in being. If you want success, live from the state of already being successful. Let your actions, your tone, your posture, your energy reflect that new version of you. And do this especially in the quiet moments. before sleep, upon waking, during moments of stillness. These are the times when your assumptions sink deepest. In those moments, see the end clearly, feel it fully, rest in it, as though there were nothing more to do. You are not imagining to get it. You are imagining because you already have it. To assume the end is to walk by faith, not by sight. It is to choose conviction over circumstances. Your senses may show you lack, your bank account may show you limits. But you are not moved by these shadows. You are moved only by what you accept as true within. And if you persist in assuming the end, even when all outer evidence contradicts it, you will see the world rearrange itself in perfect alignment. This is not theory. This is law. The inner state precedes the outer experience. So let go of the need to know how. Let go of the timelines, the strategies, the doubts, and assume it is done. Walk, talk, feel, and live from that end. And the bridge of incidents will unfold. Doors will open. People will appear. Events will conspire in ways you never imagined. The how is not your concern. Creation is complete. Your only job is to believe it's already done and remain loyal to that end. Stay there no matter what. The rest will follow. It always does. Repetition is the language of the subconscious. It is not persuaded by logic, debate, or even desire. It is moved by consistent feeling, persistent imagery, and quiet conviction. Every night, as the conscious mind loosens its grip and the world begins to fade, you are offered an open gate, a sacred opportunity to impress your subconscious with what you wish to create. In this moment, your mind is most fertile. What you repeatedly think and feel just before sleep becomes the seed of your future experience. It is not the passing thought during the day that transforms your life. It is the deeply felt idea that you carry into sleep. It is the assumption you make over and over, night after night, until it becomes so natural that the subconscious accepts it as truth. And once accepted, the outer world begins to bend to it. It is law. Your outer world is nothing more than the harvest of inner repetition. If you wish to change your life, do not underestimate the power of the final 5 minutes before you drift into unconsciousness. In those few quiet minutes, the gate is wide open. The guard of logic is drowsy and your inner world is malleable, receptive, alive. This is not the time to worry, fear, or replay what went wrong. This is the time to gently, lovingly, repeatedly feel the state you desire to live in. Whatever you impress consistently upon the subconscious, it will express. It may not happen instantly, but it will come. Just as a seed planted in soil does not bloom overnight, your thoughts must be nurtured with repetition. One night of imagining is not enough. If you return to doubt the next day, you must persist. You must feel it, see it, and know it to be true again and again, until it becomes a part of you. Think of a sculptor shaping clay. It is not one touch that forms the masterpiece, but many. Stroke by stroke, repetition by repetition, the vision within becomes the form without. Your imagination works the same way. When you imagine something nightly, when you allow the same feeling to rise, the same scene to unfold, it begins to solidify. The subconscious receives it, believes it, and reflects it in your reality. This is why so many remain stuck in cycles they do not want, because they are unknowingly repeating the wrong images before sleep. They go to bed in a state of fear, lack, or frustration, and wonder why the next day mirrors the same energy. But change the nightly story, and you change the waking experience. Shift the repetition, and the reality must follow. Do not worry if you cannot visualize every detail. What matters is the feeling. Feel the peace of abundance. Feel the joy of fulfillment. Feel the security of being supported, chosen, successful, free. Let these feelings become familiar, like a favorite song played on repeat. The more you return to them, the deeper they go. Let your nightly routine become a sacred ritual. Lie still, breathe deeply, and turn inward. Imagine the end result of your desire, not vaguely but clearly. See yourself already in possession of it. Hear the conversations you would hear. Feel the satisfaction, the relief, the pride. And most importantly, do this not just once, but night after night. Let it become a gentle obsession, not of desperation, but of knowing. Soon, the repetition will no longer feel like effort. It will become natural. You will begin to believe without trying. And that is when the subconscious accepts the suggestion. That is when it takes over and begins to move circumstances, people, and events to match what you have planted. The world outside has no choice but to conform to the world within. Every night, the gate opens. You are the sower. Choose the seeds wisely. Repeat the desired feeling until it becomes truth to you. And watch as your life blooms in its image. And so we come to the end of this sacred reminder. A return to truth. A reawakening of the power that has always been within you. You now understand that wealth is not something you chase, but something you embody. It is a state of being, born from imagination, nurtured through feeling, and brought to life through repetition. Your outer world is not a cause, it is an effect. The root lies within you, in what you dare to assume, in what you feel to be true, in what you persist in night after night. Every evening as the world quiets and your eyes grow heavy, the gate to creation opens. You have been gifted this doorway to the subconscious. Use it wisely before sleep, dwell in the end. Feel the wish fulfilled. Become the version of yourself that already lives in abundance. Do not concern yourself with how. It is already done. Believe that it is. Know that it is. Rest in that truth. Let the repetition of these inner visions create the life you desire. Let your imagination be your sanctuary, your workshop, your world. For what you continually accept within must one day be expressed without. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting in the unseen, for daring to believe in the power that shapes all things. May your nights be filled with vision, your heart with peace, and your life with the evidence of what you have already claimed in spirit. Now go and assume it is done.